Governor Abbott, with my support and every other Republican support in the state, said we're there to help you. Texas did not take a back step.
Texas backed down earlier tonight and reopened the crossings.
According to the U.S. Department of the Treasury, the national debt broke records Friday when the total climbed over $19 trillion.
That's a $56,000 burden for each of us.
President Obama is set to unveil a $4 trillion budget for 2016.
Wisconsin U.S. Senator Ron Johnson says that we could add $126 trillion in new debt over the next 30 years.
You're looking at an unemployment rate around 23%.
I have to feed my family, and I think a lot of people around the United States feel the same way.
And right now I live in a country where the government does whatever it wants to do.
You don't hear too many elected officials talking about it because if they actually describe that harsh reality, we'll have to do something about it, and that's not real popular.
The Texas Nationalist movement is in the middle of a cross-state campaign tonight to push for independence, and
they believe Texas could make it on its own.
Texans are tired of answering to bureaucrats in D.C. that they didn't elect.
They want to take Texas back.
We'd be the 46th largest country in the world, the 17th leading oil producer, the 15th largest economy. We've got our own Air Force. They build F-16s in Fort Worth. Wonder what Sam Houston would think.
Independence. I like that.
These folks think Texas' sunniest days are ahead.
I want to ask you if you're familiar with Article 1, Section 2 of the Texas Constitution.
I don't memorize everything, so read it.
I'm not asking you if you believe in independence right now, or should we leave. What I'm asking you is, whose decision is it? Is it we the people, or is it the legislature?
You've asked me a question I've not been asked. You've asked me a question I've not researched, and so I will follow back. And
you have to research it?
Yeah,
I just read the Texas Constitution.
Ma'am, I understand, but there will be a legal opinion on that, and I don't know what that legal opinion is, and I would want to go to the Attorney General and find out what that really says and really means and what the intent is. Reading me something for the first time that I have not looked at, and you're asking me a question, and I'm happy to give you an answer and follow up and give you the answer.
People in power, whether red or blue, they could not care less about Texas, me and you. They created this give me country that don't value hard work. For a Texan to survive, all we need are some seeds and dirt. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save your country before it's long gone. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save your country before it's long gone. We believe in family and we value our community. Gladly lend a helping hand to a neighbor in need. And we don't believe that government should provide for all of society's needs. No, it's the pride of a Texan to give to others voluntarily. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Gotta save your country, for it's long gone. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Gotta save your country, for it's long gone. They like our tax dollars and they love our natural resources. They don't want to see us driving trucks, they'd rather see us riding horses. And now they want to ban our guns, you know, especially the ones that look scary. But may I remind you of the Gonzales Cannon and the Alamo heroes we buried. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save our country, for it's long gone. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save our country, for it's long gone. This last verse is straight from the Texas Constitution, Article 1, Section 1 and 2. Look it up. Texas is an independent state, yet presently we suffer. We no longer possess the right to locally self-govern. And now it's time as a people in which all political power is inherent. And in such manner we find expedient, we reform or abolish our government. I said, Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save your country, for it's long gone. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save your country, for it's long gone.
Hey, good evening, fellow Texans. This is Daniel Miller, and it is time for the weekly decompress, the cup of coffee that we have now termed late night coffee talk. So thanks for joining me. As you can tell, as opposed to last Wednesday night, I'm back home, and I'm here for tonight. And then once more on the road, and we'll talk about all the upcoming things here in just a moment. Man, it has been one heck of a week. I think, if I remember right, that it was this has been like a 10-day on the road thing, and it's not over yet. So pretty excited to be home today. It's been fun to be able to catch up, get some work done you can't get done when you're on the road, and really get some pretty doggone exciting things ready to pop. So look, before we tear into this and share our cup or more of coffee, let's do a little bit of housekeeping first. As a reminder, if you are watching this on the TNM's YouTube channel, chat is live and active, and as is Super Chat. So whether you're watching it on the TNM's YouTube channel or watching it on my YouTube channel, all the same things apply. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time we go live. And of course, it's never too late to share. There's a share button on there too. So be sure to share it out there. And speaking of sharing, sharing is always caring. For those of you who are watching on Facebook, whether you're watching on any of our pages or groups, sure would appreciate a like, a share, and a comment to help us beat the algorithm. And I'm going to tell you, man, the algorithm is it's jacking us pretty hard. I don't know any other way to describe it. It's definitely messing with our mojo. So, be sure to do all those Facebook things. Let's beat those guys. I don't like having our voices suppressed. Whether it's intentional, unintentional, it just really stinks to have to fight through all of that. So do those things. We really, really do appreciate it. And of course, if you're on Twitter, be sure to retweet this video. And I'll tell you, I'm actually looking forward to doing one of the new features on Twitter, one of the what they call Twitter Spaces. I think we're going to get one of those scheduled here in the very near future, probably while I'm on the road, because it's audio only, right? So it makes it super easy to do. And we'll do something special over there for you guys. I will tell you that if you are not with us on Twitter, I have got some phenomenal followers on Twitter that are forevermore promoting the TNM. So be sure to get over there and get connected with us. And let me do this. Let me throw the caption up there. So I'm not just telling you to do rando things in the dark, right? So boom, there is the TNM's Twitter account at TexasNatMOV. And mine is on here. Boom, at the Texian DM. So give us a follow. And let's get over there, man. I don't like ceding territory to the opposition, right? I just don't. People say, well, why are you still over there fighting? It's because I don't like to quit. If you haven't figured that out yet, 25 years at this ought to tell you that I'm not a big fan of quitting anything, and I'll be doggone if I'm going to get driven out of this by anyone else. Excuse me. Okay, super. I'm already getting questions in. I'm going to take tonight's going to be a bulk of questions because frankly, I have got a lot of work to do and I am extremely tired and I got to be on the road at super early tomorrow. So, and that is a reminder, if you are in the YouTube chats, if you're in the comments of any of the Facebook videos or, on Twitter, all of that aggregates into a feed and Kara's in there right now, moderating those questions, making sure that we're getting them all and getting them over to me. So I don't have to keep doing this the whole time and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Don't ever want to go back to that. All right. So let's get down to it. So this little recap of the last several days, as you remember last week on this very night, I was out of town. I was in Waco. Yes, I was in Waco. And I did late night coffee talk from there. And while I was on that run, I hit a bunch of different cities, had great time in Whitney. What we did, I talked about Grayson County because we did Grayson County on Tuesday. Wednesday was an off night. But Thursday, we went on. We had Waco that night, where had a phenomenal meeting. Had one of the candidates running for local judge out there come out, and just a great crowd. And then let's see, the next night, Friday, is it's hard to remember now. Friday, it's what I've got great pictures too. I don't know. Maybe Kara can help me in the chat. But anyway, Saturday we had Corsicana. Thank you. My word. I don't know. My apologies to Corsicana. I didn't forget you. I just forgot the city and where I was. Corsicana was great. Hey, I got to connect with some supporters from way back that I haven't seen in years and years and years. Super excited about the campaign, about the TNM, about TEXIT. Had phenomenal Q&A. Boy, I'm going to tell you what, those folks in Corsicana do not pull any punches on their questions. And, I take any question. So it's all good, right? So then Saturday had a fundraiser. Paul Roby organized it, and all those fine people over there. I have to just say a big thank you to them. A fantastic venue there in Waxahachie, and it was just a great time. And there's video of it, I do believe. Maybe I think in the TNM members group, perhaps there's a video of the speeches there. We got tons of them. I mean, we're still getting them all uploaded, but all the remarks are out there, and you'll be able to see them. So, doing a lot of discussions about things that are TEXIT, and then some of the other things that are coming up in the campaign, some of the other primary issues like the abolition of property tax, securing the border, all those. But I'm going to tell you the thing that energizes people that they want to know about is TEXIT. They want to talk about Texas independence, and I get it. That's all I've wanted to talk about for 25 years because I want to get it done. So it's just the excitement's out there. So regardless of what the political consultant class out there says, the people want it. That's what they want to talk about. And Saturday, I got to participate in a couple of the petition signings. One in Granbury, one in Burleson. Had a phenomenal time out there with those folks, meeting with all those people. And then, of course, Monday was in Whitney. And a big thank you to the Bosque County Sheriff who came out and visited with us at the event. And I'll tell you, there were a lot of people in that room knew nothing about really what was going on with TEXIT or the TNM, but they saw the posters that was a campaign stop, and they came to learn more. They wanted to hear about TEXIT. And again, talked about a whole host of issues, but what they want to talk about was TEXIT. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I am here for it. It's going to be, it's just been phenomenal. So yeah, it's been pretty amazing. And I got to come home, got to leave out yesterday, come back home, spend the night in my own bed last night, work here at the house. I'll be here tonight, tonight. And then tomorrow, heading out to Fort Worth, to a meeting of Project Fort Worth. You can go look on the events page, either on the TNM page or on the website or my website at danielomiller.com. I will flash that on the screen. Go to the events page, and what you will see is you will see all the details for the Project Fort Worth meeting. So come on out. I hear there's going to be one heck of a crowd, and spoiler alert, I get the guy who coordinated it is a guy that I went to high school with that I literally have not seen since high school. So mini two-person reunion. It's going to be fun. There's going to be a ton of folks out there. And again, everyone is excited about TEXIT, but I repeat myself. It's just the way it works. People love TEXIT. They want to talk about Texas independence. They're tired of dealing with this federal mess. Can you blame them? Can you blame them? I don't think so. So anyway, in the midst of all that, right? So we've got all that travel going on. In the midst of all that, there were plenty of interviews. Many of you have already seen the interview that was in the Texan. It's an online publication where they wanted to talk about, obviously, TEXIT, right? They wanted to know the ins and outs. And I got to tell you, that was a really good in-depth interview. Had a radio interview on the Alan Nathan radio show. It was being guest hosted by Karen Cataline, and who is a brand new Texas resident. She moved here in anticipation that we're going to do what we say we're going to do, and that is make Texas a free and independent state again, right? We're going to win our independence. And then had another interview at some point along there with Garrett, and I don't remember the publication, over at the University of Texas. And talked to him all about TEXIT, then had another interview with Josh Tolley today, and then there was the KTRH interview this morning that you may have seen. So look, the momentum is here. I mean, we are on the road. We are busting our tails, and I'm going to tell you, it's pretty doggone exhausting. It is. There is no doubt about it, because we are spinning up statewide. From, it's not like we've been planning this a year or 2 years in advance, right? I mean, it was like right before the announcement. That's when it was decided. So, there's a lot going on, and we're going to need all the help we can get, right? Whether it's the lieutenant governor's race, right, where I could definitely use your help if you take a second and go to my website, check out the issues, and at a minimum, just pledge your vote, right, or find other things on there to do. But also, where the TNM is concerned, we're spinning up efforts everywhere, right? I'm not the only candidate. State rep candidates, state senate candidates are filing. I mean, it is going to be absolute bedlam for the political establishment. Well, those guys are dropping like flies. And so, you gotta get in the game. You got to help these folks out. And just to tell you how quickly that is, John, thank you very much for registering your support for the campaign. But where the TNM is concerned, man, we're in the final days, the final push for the petition campaign. And just the other day, it was launched, basically a self-service petition option, right? So we're at that stage of the petition campaign where, look, if you can't connect with the petition circulator, we gave you 5.5 or really 5 months to become a petition circulator and help us collect signatures, or to connect with a petition circulator, right, and give your signature either, at one of our events. And there have been, and I haven't run the count, but I'm pretty doggone sure that we'll be releasing a count of the petition signing events that we've had. And it's a massive number, right? In the last 5 months, it has been event after event after event after event after event. We've made plenty of opportunities for people to go connect with the organization and sign the petition. We released a petition circulator directory where you could go on a map, enter your address, and find a petition circulator near you and contact them, right? So we've done everything that we can on this end. So now, as per the schedule, we have released a self-service petition, which basically means if you have been unable to do any of those things, connect with us, become petition circulator, whatever it is, if you've been unable to do that, there is now a mechanism on our website where you can print your own petition. You fill out a form, you hit a button, you print the petition, you sign it. Maybe you collect 2 or 3 other signatures from people, right? You notarize it and you send it in, right? So now that option is there. You don't even need a CPC. You don't need a petition circulator. It's a self-service petition, but understand that you have to have it notarized. But I will tell you this, executive team, portion of the executive team had a meeting last night, and we have gotten some direction from legal, something that has been ruminating and in the works for a while. And it looks as though we have clearance. So we're going to be making a big bombshell announcement that here in the last 2 to 3 weeks of the petition campaign could become a game changer. So I want you to stay tuned for that. It will not be tonight, but it probably will be either at the end of this week or the beginning of next week. And it's gonna really change the game, right? So what you got to do right now, if you want to become a petition circulator, or you want to sign the petition at one of the events, or you want to do the self-service petition, go to tnm.me/petition and let's get her done. Let's get it done. And here's the thing, and this is what I want all of you folks out there that are kind of staring at the thing kind of halfway about whether you're going to sign it or not. Here's what I want you to understand. As soon as the petition campaign's over, our volunteers are shifting into campaign mode, because it's not enough to get the petition done. We've got to make sure that we have candidates. We have to make sure that we have candidates. Well, we already have candidates. We have to make sure that we have elected officials in Austin that will carry out the will of the people of Texas. So it's just a job half done, right? So either way, our volunteers are going to still be working. So it's still not too late to become a petition circulator and then get in the volunteer queue, and let's continue to work, right? We keep working until the job gets done. There is no end date other than the one when we are texited officially. All right. So that's the story. That's what's going on. And apparently, apparently I answered the first question. right, about the downloading the petition and how it's going to work. So, Bad Brad on YouTube, thank you for signing already. But that's what it is. It's a self-service petition where you can print it up, get your signature on it, get a few more if you want to. If not, you take it right down to the notary, churches, some banks, some places like that, free notary services. Plus, we have a directory on our website of notaries, and we don't have them everywhere, but these are notaries for the TNM. They're volunteers just like you who are volunteering their notary services, and they will notarize your petition for free. In addition, many of our district directors are notaries. So, we got people, but you can find them. They're all over the place. And there it is. It was Garrett. Thank you, Garrett. You're in chat. I'm glad. Let me tell you guys. Garrett is the one I was thinking about. The Texas Horn, right, is the media outlet that I interviewed with, and that interview that I had with Garrett, his name's Garrett Blizzard, which, by the way, is probably one of the coolest names ever, right? But Garrett is the one one of the ones I interviewed with while I was on the road. And it was a great one. And here's the thing. We actually were going to have the interview earlier, but there was a scheduling snafu. And my apologies again, Garrett. Sorry about that, but I'm glad we could get it worked out. Okay, so let me start running down through some of these, and we'll just kind of play it by ear as I look over here at this stack of TEXIT books that I got to get signed. That's what I came back to, right? It was literally right here where the microphone is. There was a stack of books this tall. It's like, oh man. All right. Super chat. Here's a super chat with a note. It says, have you considered live streaming on only one platform at a time to better concentrate the metrics? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a wonkish question, but I like it because I dig digital media and all things digital because my background is tech. And we have thought about that. The challenge is that we have so many people spread across. And, unfortunately, in the day and age that we're in, well, I say unfortunately, honestly, I kind of think it is a bit fortunate, right? Is that we have competitors in sort of the social media sphere that allow us the opportunity to broadcast to multiple places, right? We need competition on those digital platforms. And so, I get it. Understand that the platform that we use, we are able to aggregate those numbers on this end, right? So we get metrics. We know, who's coming through what pages, what services, all that. So that it's not a problem for us. Now, granted, it would probably inflate the numbers, or maybe it wouldn't. I don't know that Twitter users are going to run over to Facebook to watch this, and I don't know that Facebook users are going to run over to YouTube to do it. So, it's just really, honestly, it's really about making this accessible to as many people as possible. But I get it. I mean, it's part of that balance that we have, right? We have to run a cost-benefit analysis. Is it worth alienating some of the people for the purpose of concentrating metrics on one or two platforms? And, obviously we opted to get the message out as many places as possible. Hey, Lou, I want to thank you for your super chat as well for $100. We do appreciate it. The TNM could definitely use the help. I mean, we've got a big fight ahead of us. Okay, so let's get down to it. Alex on Facebook, what would you like to add to a reformed Texas Constitution? Hey, okay, that's an interesting question, and honestly, not because of really what I want to do related to the Constitution, because ultimately, I want Texas independence, and then we just amend the Constitution to make Texas, to make it fit a self-governing independent nation, right? But I will tell you that the thing that intrigues me about that question is on 3 of the campaign stops over the last week, 3 or 4, there was specific discussion from people during the Q&A about the Texas Constitution. And I'll tell you, I'm not used to that. I'm used to going into some cold rooms, obviously not T&M people, right? T&M people know about the Texas Constitution, but I'm talking about some kind of green folks. I'm used to rolling into rooms and people being shocked that we have a constitution. I mean, that's sort of, if it's not TNM people, that's sort of where it gravitates toward, right? So, and look, honestly, that kind of includes our elected officials too, who do know that we have a constitution, but literally have no idea what's in it. But I digress, Dan Patrick. But that's the thing that intrigues me about that question, is that it seems to be sort of a more recent phenomena. Well, at least in this last run that I did, with people discussing changes that they would like to see to the Texas Constitution. Reduce its size, stop politicizing the amendment process. Where things that should be solely legislative have been reduced down to constitutional amendments. For the purpose of scoring political points, which has made the Constitution unwieldy. I mean, there was just a lot. So I'm really intrigued by that, because it just reminded me that I'm seeing and hearing a lot of that lately. And I don't disagree. It was like I told the group, I think it was in Corsicana. Somebody asked one time, they said, you can get a pocket U.S. Constitution. Why don't you get, a pocket Texas Constitution? And I said, how big is your pocket? How big of pockets are you wearing? Right? You have to be nice, get the bit, maybe the Bill of Rights, right? I mean, we could do that, but the whole thing, I mean, what are you carrying? Like a fanny pack? I mean, a laptop bag? I mean, I don't know what you're carrying. Okay. Stacy wanted to know if I will be in Fredericksburg for the farmers market with Kyle Biederman. I don't know the answer to that. I'd have to go look at my calendar and find out. So I don't know, but I'll find out. And if I'm going to be there, then we'll send up the flare and be like, hey, I'm here. But Nate will be there. Our executive director will be there, and I'm sure Kyle will be there. And I'm just going to say thank you right now to Kyle Biederman for arranging that. He's the one who facilitated that and made it happen. That apparently that farmers market in Fredericksburg for the they're going to set up a table and use it as a petition signing event. Apparently, that thing is a massive event. And thank you, Kyle, for knocking that out for us and taking point on that. Viva wants to know if we've had any interaction with Texas Scorecard about the LG race. Not directly. They wrote about it. They wrote about me announcing. But as far as any interaction directly, no. But that may be kind of like what you guys did with Tom Woods and so many of these other outlets. Maybe you guys just need to round up and head over there to Texas Scorecard. Go like, hey, how come you guys haven't interviewed Daniel Miller? And just do it until they do. Okay, Daniel Rice. Hey, Daniel, about to be Texas' newest resident, right? Or he may already be here. He's moving here from Arizona. And Daniel Rice is, he was originally from he lived in Texas for a long time, then moved to Arizona. Now he's moving back, and he's also our director of international engagement. So thank you for the super chat, Daniel. And Texas Huntsman, thank you so much for the super chat. Ben on Facebook wants to know if TNM will compile a list of candidates who support Texas for the upcoming elections. Absolutely. That's already in the works. You are going to know beyond a shadow of a doubt by the time the filing window is done, who specifically is a TNM candidate, who is at least friendly to our issues, and then who's wearing a jersey on the other team that we need to go sack. You're going to know. And I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. Okay. And Stephen Mull, thank you so much for your super chat. That's good. Man, the questions have been real shorties tonight. Why do I feel like we're going to be taking a break? Like I need like an intermission. Give you guys time to think up some questions. Let me at least hey, at least it gives me time to have the coffee, right? I mean, coffee is baked in the name of what we do. It is late night coffee talk. And generally, when there's all these questions, it's way more talk than it is coffee. And that really makes me sad. So, well, I'm going to tell you, there has been a lot to talk about. First and foremost, I got news today that the chairman of the Alaskan Independence Party, the party that's been championing independence for Alaska, I got news that their party chairman passed away. And so my condolences go out to everybody in the AIP, and especially to his family. Those guys have had a tremendous set of ups and downs. They are, they have a difficult time, and they've been fighting a good fight for a very long time. And, they lost a good one, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it that we lose good ones before independence. It's the thing that I say a lot with, when I talk about Dr. Thomas Naylor, who was championing Vermont independence, but really championing independence for all of us. And we lost him a few years back, and it just, it's one of those things. We want it so badly that we want other people to see that independence. And when they don't get to, it's just sad. I don't know any other way to describe it. So, there's a lot of thoughts that come around that. So definitely condolences to his family, and I'm sure that AIP will be releasing some official news about it very soon. Moving right along, though, let's talk about this news that has broken related to Dan Patrick and ERCOT. And there is, I'm not going to pretend to go into all of this tonight, because that's not what this is. This is not a news program. I break down a lot of different things, but the news is circulating that there may have been some interesting interactions related to ERCOT and the committee that's supposed to recruit and vet the new board and donors to Dan Patrick's campaign. And so it's interesting, but I want to really, rather than talk about that specifically, because you can go find that, and that news is going to break a lot. I want people to understand this, because I've been seeing and hearing a lot of this lately. Not a lot, but some, right? Where people are asking, okay, why specifically are you running for lieutenant governor? Why specifically Dan Patrick? And I want everyone to understand, much like sort of the interactions that we have had with Greg Abbott, where proof positive, beyond 100%, beyond a shadow of a doubt, Greg Abbott is opposed to Texas independence. He's opposed to letting the people of Texas vote on it. Dan Patrick is pretty much the same way. And he has stood against us. He's not given a lot of time. And, I think we played the video at the very beginning of this. Let me look. Yeah. Where he was when he was running for lieutenant governor, he was read Article 1, Section 2 of the Texas Constitution, had no idea what it said, what it meant, said he was going to have to go research it, right? He's going to have to go research Article 1, Section 2, literally one of the key components of the Texas Bill of Rights. But this is really the challenge that we have. And so let me tell you, when and it's not just me, right? It's all of us that are running are standing against a political establishment that all are somewhat cut from the same cloth, right? They campaign. They have a heavy campaign rhetoric, right? You listen to these guys on the campaign trail, and I mean, these guys are absolute bulldogs. They're hell on wheels. I mean, that's just you listen to what they say, and I mean, they're like a Viking rolling in there with a battle axe. I mean, they are just, it's like if Stone Cold Steve Austin rolled into the wrestling ring with Hulk Hogan on his shoulders. I mean, that is how much they sound. They try to pump themselves up and make themselves sound tough. But when they govern, it's a completely different story, right? I mean, we know that the Texas House for many, many years has been treated like a frat house. I mean, there were no fewer than 2 sex scandals in this last session, right? The place is just unhinged, out of control. Dan Patrick runs the Senate. but he doesn't get things done, right? Instead, what we get is a bunch of half measures. And like I told Josh Tolley today in the interview with him, they've got that same philosophy that Peter Gibbons had in the movie Office Space, right? When he's getting interviewed by the two consultants named Bob, and he's going through what he does for his workday, and at the end of it, he says, I do just enough not to get fired. And that's what those guys do. They do just enough not to get fired. So they halfway, make a stab at securing the border, right? Securing the border. And even though it's not done, they go out and campaign, talk about what they did to secure the border. And it's like, this is a joke. And unfortunately, it's a joke that's being played on the people of Texas. So, you start talking about these issues like the vote on TEXIT. Well, we're all pretty well aware of how the political establishment treated all of us, including you, during this last session, right? Extend that out for many, many years prior, and you will understand why we have sort of a visceral reaction to the way that they treat people like us. But, so we know that goes without saying. But, then we talk about things like property tax. They go out, they campaign, and they say, we need to stop kicking people out of their homes. Well, what have they done to stop kicking people out of their homes? Because we know the ultimate solution to do that is to abolish the property tax. But instead, we get $150 in relief, which is a joke. I mean, I get it. I appreciate relief. But, how long is that going to last when they're ratcheting our property values up, right? So instead of doing the thing that they needed to do, they just kind of put a little something on it so they could go, oh, we passed property tax reform. No, you didn't. No, when? Because I've not seen it. When is the last time they actually had major reform, right? It's always these little incremental things. It's such a joke. And I'm going to tell you, these guys, they go do that. Then they come out and they campaign, and they are laughing at us the whole time. They're laughing at us. They're not laughing at us. They're laughing at the people that believe that they actually did something. And look, it's enough of that, right? At some point, the chickens come home to roost, right? Just like session after session, there has been a constant drumbeat to do something about the electrical grid. But instead, what they wanted to do was they wanted to lap at the trough of green energy subsidies from the federal government. They wanted to slurp all that federal money up. I imagine if you go look at some of their financial disclosures, you'll understand why, right? They wanted to lap up all that federal money for green energy subsidies while it was busy shutting down all the baseline power production projects that were going to come in that would have been resistant to what shut down our grid. They've turned a deaf ear time and time again to Senator Bob Hall, who has been preaching for several sessions, that we need to harden our electrical grid from all sorts of things, including EMPs and solar storms. But again, they blow it off. And then you get what we had in February, and the chickens come home to roost. All of these things happen. And you cannot escape the fact that while these guys were fiddling, Texans died because of that. Right? That's on them. Texans died because of their failure to take care of business. And, I'm afraid across a whole host of issues that this is going to wind up being the case, that we'll be able to begin to measure their failures by body count like we've done the grid. And that is terrible. I mean, if we were to take that same sort of metric and apply it to the border and say, their failure to take solid measures on the border has cost this many lives, I think it might make a lot of sense to people. And I'm going to tell you, the border issue has cost lives. Many of you saw the testimony during House Bill 1359 from Dan Goldwatch, who lost his son to a 2 or 3 time deported illegal alien because the federal government has failed on the border, and the state government, these state elected officials, are too weak or have too much in divided loyalties to stand in there and protect Texas citizens. When given an opportunity to choose between the federal government and the people of Texas, time and time again, they choose the federal government. So it's definitely time. So it's interesting. I don't know. Do we have any more questions coming in? Let's take a look. Oh yeah. Okay. Super. Okay. I think we're pretty caught up on there. Well, all right. So let's move on to another topic. Let's talk about the other thing that has really been, I think, just kind of pressing on me a bit has been. Obviously, we've had a lot of chat. The filing window has opened for the new, for this election cycle, and I've got to, it's about to become official for me. I'm going to have to traipse on down to Austin and uh, plop my money on the desk. Did you guys know how much it costs to file to run for statewide office? It's like $3,750 to file to run for office. I mean, it's insane. And even if you wanted to run for state senate or state rep, you could go get a certain number of signatures that's really easily achievable and run for office. But you start looking at statewide offices, man. I mean, they just got you over a barrel. But that being said, I'm going to have to traipse right on down there, and obviously we're seeing a lot of people jump into these races. And it's going to be, I will tell you, obviously the news, the announcement that Beto O'Rourke is running for governor, which came as a surprise to literally no one, right? I mean, he's only been, it's kind of like when Don Huffines, when he said that he was going to primary Abbott, I was not surprised because, it's like he had been setting it up for quite some time. He got really vocal on Twitter against Abbott. I mean, there was a lot going on. I was like, okay. And you ask any of the people that are around me on the regular. I told them months and months and months and months before Don Huffines announced he was running. I said, Don Huffines is about to run. He is going to primary Abbott. Lo and behold, it was there, right? So Beto, no surprise. I mean, because honestly, who else are they going to run, right? I mean, who else? It's just the way it is because they got to have that conduit for that California and New York money to flow into here. And try to, shore up their ridiculous down ballot races. People that are popular with no one, they're hoping they'll have them a Beto spillover effect. And anyway, it's going to be kind of a big joke. But that being said, one of my absolute favorites on the Democrat side, Michelle Beckley, has filed to run for lieutenant governor. As a Democrat, and I say a favorite because we had a little exchange on Twitter sometime back. When she fled to Washington D.C. with the other Democrats, as when they busted quorum, she got on TV and gave one of the most meandering interviews that I have ever seen. And my comment on it was, "Oh man, it's like God spilled a person." And the backlash. So yeah, so she's running for lieutenant governor, and so I had to say something on Twitter about it. I'm not going to quote it here, but feel free to go over there and take a look on Twitter. But anyway, look, it's shaping up. If you go look on the calendar, and I don't know how many of these are actually on the calendar right now, and at least mine. I mean, there's forums popping up everywhere. We had Charles Turner, TNMer, announce publicly that he's running for state representative the other day. He gave a phenomenal speech. And I'm going to tell you, Charles, I don't know if you're watching tonight, but I absolutely loved what you had to say. My absolute favorite line from your speech was when you talked about the year that you were born. And you said that there were two things older than you, dirt and Joe Biden, which I thought was hilarious. That slated. But the cherry on top was when you said, but that tells you that with me, you don't have to worry about term limits. I mean, it was genius. It was beautiful. I loved it. So great job, Charles. All right. So look, if you guys don't have any questions in particular, I'm going to finish up my coffee and then I'm going to knock off and get back to work because I still have to pack. Remember, I'm going to be in Fort Worth tomorrow night. And also, when we get back from Fort Worth, I've got to prep for that big kind of petition bombshell that we're getting ready to drop that is going to give us an opportunity. I mean, the self-serve petition is going to drive the numbers. That's going to do a phenomenal job in getting us closer to the goal. But the bombshell we're getting ready to drop, that clearance from legal, I'll be honest with you, I'm extremely excited about this. I can't, spoiler alert, right? All right, so let me just go ahead and wrap up then. Look, if we don't have a lot of questions tonight, I covered what happened, what was on my mind. And what's on my mind right now is a lot of fog because I'm tired. There's a lot, but yet there's still a lot to do, right? So let me just kind of walk through everything. If you'd like to participate in the aforementioned petition, there's the website, tnm.me/petition. And the filing window is open, but it is not closed. And if you would like to find out how you could be a candidate under the TNM's banner for this next election, go over to tnm.me/run for office and become a part of the Take Texas Back campaign. And then, of course, if you'd like to become a member of the Texas Nationalist movement, you can go to tnm.me/join. Man, I keep these allergies, man. It's all this travel. Go to tnm.me/join, and you can become a member of the TNM and join the movement that is going to take Texas back, right? And then, of course, let me go ahead and plug this. If you have not already gone over to my website and pledged your support, please do so now, danielomiller.com. Head over there and sign up today. We'll get you on the email list. If you can volunteer and or make a contribution of any amount, it is much appreciated. Additionally, if you'd like to join our SMS list, you can that's text messages for people like me. You can text the word STAND to 33339, and I am pulling each week a random person and sending them a TEXIT Now mug. So you too could get that. Additionally, if you would like to become a local coordinator for the TNM, if you'd like to organize locally, head over to tnm.me/local, which reminds me of something that I almost forgot to do. Shame on me. Let me take this opportunity to first and foremost talk about our field operations. Our longtime field director, Don Tier, is having to step down from his role as field director due to health reasons. And I'm going to tell you, Don, it has been such a pleasure working with you. He's not going anywhere. He's still going to be working with us in the TNM as his health allows. But Don, I want you to know that all of us here at the TNM are rooting for you, buddy. We're praying for you. And we absolutely love you, man. When I talk about, and I think I talked about it last week or the week before, the TNM is like is family. We have many of us have been in this fight for a long time. Don has been in for many, many, many years. And so, Don and Sana, we love you guys, and get well soon, buddy. That said, let me also welcome Paul Roby, who has been our district director in District 22. Paul Roby is going to be stepping into that role as field director, and he's got a couple of the other district directors, Dean Ross over in 24 and Cheryl Miller in 5, that are going to be stepping up there to help him as well, get the field rocking and rolling. And Don's left a heck of a legacy for you guys, but I know that he's definitely opened up the path and lit the way for you guys. And I'm going to tell you, I have full faith and confidence in Paul and the team over there to go out there and help us carry this message to every single corner of Texas. So get over there when you get a chance to the website, tnm.me, and volunteer, because those guys all need volunteers. You can't just leave it up to a handful of people and expect to be transported from tyranny to liberty. You got to get in the game, right? So that being said, I think I've covered all the bases. And with that, what I will do is hopefully I will see some of you in Fort Worth tomorrow night. And if not, I hope I see you at one of the events here very, very, very soon. hats off to all of you who are out there working, collecting petition signatures, volunteering, helping with campaigns, whatever it is that you're doing. I know this. I have seen it firsthand from what I've heard from the media, from what I see on the ground, what I hear at meetings. The T&M is moving the needle. We are pushing the ball forward, and we are closer to our goal than we have ever been, to secure and protect the political, cultural, and economic independence of the nation of Texas, to secure and protect a constitutional republic and the inherent rights of the people of Texas. Our mission is being fulfilled as we speak. And I have to tell you, after so many years of this, I'm here for it. All right. So that said, I lift my cup of coffee to you, and I leave you with the words of Sam Houston when he said that Texas will again lift its head and stand among the nations. I believe that time is now, and the question is, will you stand with her? Good night, everyone.